Hi, parents. This is Catherine O'Brien.
And this is Carrie Klein.
We are co-teachers of your son or daughter's English 12 class, periods 3, 7, or 8. Thanks for watching our open house video this year. A little bit about us. I'm Catherine O'Brien. I started my career in Fairport at Minerva DeLand School for a few years, actually, and this is my 15th year in the district once I transferred over to FHS. I'm a special education teacher and an English teacher.
And this is Carrie Klein, and I'm a Fairport grad. So once a reader, always a reader. I started off teaching at Aquinas, and I was there for 2 years, and then came back home to my alma mater. And I have been teaching, this is my 20th year, my 18th in the district.
So we wanted to just highlight a few things from our course syllabus and expectations that we've gone over with your son and daughter, and also talk about how you can support your son or daughter in class. So some of our expectations for students, and they know this now after going through the syllabus, is to come with their charged school-issued device daily. We are a writing class. We will almost always ask them to submit work on Google Classroom. We will expect them to type and use their assistive technology to improve their writing throughout the year, and therefore we need that device to be in class every day. We also hope that the students will stay organized in a system that works for them, whether that's folder or binder. It is completely up to them. We just hope that they can keep track of any papers that we do hand out and be organized for success. And one of the things that we emphasize to students is that we expect them to keep all graded work until the end of the quarter. Overall quarterly grade has been issued. This would help if there is any question about a grade in the grade book. They can pull the assignment back out and verify that we haven't made any errors as it's calculating into School Tool, because that happens sometimes. So we expect them to hang on to that, file it away, and keep those safe quarter to quarter. One thing that would really, really help is to have a conversation with our seniors at home about being to class on time. Because of senior privilege and the fact that students are allowed to leave campus now each period, we are noticing a lot of lateness to class. And it's starting class off on the wrong foot. It's impacting our class participation and discussion, and students will start to receive consequences and disciplinary referrals for that if it continues to be a pattern and a problem. We really hope that it won't. So already within the first 4-day cycle, we've noticed that some students are not coming back from lunch or home on time, especially 7th period, if they're leaving 6th period for lunch. So if you could please reiterate the fact that students need to be on time to class every period, that we'd really appreciate it. Today I gave the students a suggestion to set an alarm on their phone, that the alarm tells them when to get back in the car or walking back from the house to school to be on time. Thanks so much.
So if your student is absent, we know that things happen, whether it's illness, a family emergency, or college visit, or setting up maybe an internship or apprenticeship for the following year. So if your child is absent, please make sure that you call them into attendance so that it's logged there for us, and we're not wondering where they are. If they're well enough to, have them check Google Classroom or check with a friend to see what they missed. Maybe they can get themselves caught up. Upon their return, especially if they've been out for multiple days due to illness, have them talk with us to set up deadlines for catching up. We don't expect them to, get caught up immediately overnight if they've been out for an extended time. And then the most important part is that illegal absences, meaning skipping class, is an automatic 0 on anything due that day.
Okay, so on the subject of grades, we do accept late work. With available technology and the fact that we post our due dates not only on the whiteboard in class, but also in the Google Classroom, which automatically generates a calendar entry with a due date on it, we know that students will always be very clear on what is due when. But we also know that our teenagers are developing those executive functioning habits and practices of timeliness, calendar use, and being able to keep track of deadlines. So we're flexible to an extent, sometimes a due date is going to have to be a hard and fast due date. We may assign something that we are using in class the next day. And if it's not ready, that's obviously a hard due date. We're moving on. You didn't have it to participate in like a Socratic seminar or a class discussion the very next day, and then we will move past it. And sometimes that will just have to be a zero on that homework check. However, most late work we will gladly accept within a 5-week time period. We would rather have students do the work and be able to assess their skill level, know that it was important, get the work done, be thoughtful in their responses, and take it late than never having completed it. So within the 5-week mark, we'll accept any work, homework, classwork, major assessments late, and then at the 5-week mark, it will stay at zero. And then for the next 5 weeks, that would, be applicable. And at the end of the quarter, that grade is solidified. We really stress to the students that extra help is available. There are 2 of us. We have flexibility in our schedule. We would love for them to make appointments to drop in for some extra help, office hours, meet us in a resource room or a study hall or senior lounge to advocate for their needs. And to that end, we are also trying to emphasize that advocacy is important prior to a due date, that we are completely open and willing to give an alternate due date to a student who steps up and asks for it. We know that as families, you're balancing a lot of demands at home. They may have a part-time job. They may be in sports. They may be in after-school clubs. And our due date may conflict with other major events going on that will prevent your student from doing the work at home, or it may even conflict with other major due dates for classes that we don't know about. They are juggling more than just our class. And so we would love for the students to step up and say, in earnest, this is important to me. I need more time on it. I need some help editing it. Could I push my due date out X amount of days? We'll absolutely entertain reasonable requests like that.
So our grading is broken into 2 categories. Assessments, which are things like tests, quizzes, homework, projects, essays, anything like that. That's 60% of the student's grade. And the only exception to this is that quarter 2, this will drop down to 40% because the midterm, which is also an assessment, but it happens to be 20% of their quarter 2 grade. The other thing that we will be grading them on is participation, and that's going to be 40% of their grade. And this includes things like coming to class prepared, actively listening, no side conversations, not, doing their homework for another class that's maybe due the next period, asking and answering questions, and using time wisely. So if we give them time to work on a project for something that they're actually on task.
Mm-hmm. So if you have any questions about English 12 and any kind of questions about this video, what you see on the syllabus, if your son or daughter has come home kind of confused in the last few days or the first few weeks of September, we would love to clarify them for you. Just pop us an email. That's the easiest and fastest way to get a response from us. We do work in multiple classrooms, and it might be kind of hard to track us down. And then we will either write you back or call you back right away. Also, another way that you can be looped in on the progress and everything going on in room 110 is to ask to be added to our Google Classroom for the weekly alerts and reminders. Sometimes parents find them helpful, and other times parents don't like that because it's really just a summary of what's already happened at the end of the week. But feel free to email us and we'll add you to that. The best way to just kind of stay in the loop about your son or daughter's progress is to continue to check School Tool. School Tool is the official graded record. It may not always match up to what your son or daughter might see in Google Classroom because we don't necessarily grade every single thing in Google Classroom. Plus, that 40% participation grade will get factored in only in School Tool at the end of the quarter.
So thank you so much, and we're really excited for the 2021-2022 school year, and have a great night.